Fyodor Dostoevsky is one of the most renowned authors in the history of literature and has been recognized for his brilliance in exploring complex psychological experiences. Over the years, readers have become enthralled with Dostoevsky's work as he uncovers hidden depths of human emotions and motivations that can often go unseen or overlooked. His unique style of writing allows readers to dive into turbulent waters of psychological complexities and discover a new level of understanding about themselves and those around them. Dostoevsky had a keen ability to understand people from all walks of life and could get into the core human emotions that drive our emotions, decisions, both good and bad. His characters are often complex individuals, which many readers can relate to, who must navigate through moral difficulties with their own set of rules. His works are known for his complex characters, particularly those which demonstrate self-reflection. His psychological insights into characters are renowned for their depth and detail. Dostoevsky was adept at creating characters that allowed readers to look inwards and analyze their own psychological complexities. These complex characters often reflect on their own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors as they interact with others in the story. They come face to face with issues surrounding morality, justice, guilt, and redemption throughout the course of novel. For example, one of Dostoevsky's most famous works, Crime and Punishment, follows Raskolnikov as he struggles to make sense of his moral choices and values. He reflects upon himself through introspection before finally coming to terms with his actions by the end of the book. He was particularly adept at exploring this psychology in depth, delving into the emotional depths that can be found within each character he created. He explored how our thoughts, emotions, and actions influence each other, creating powerful insights into our own human nature. Through this exploration, he revealed deeply complex psychological states and how they interact in interesting ways to shape individual characters' development throughout his stories. Through examining the characters and their struggles in his novels, readers are exposed to the depth and complexity of human nature. Conflict and suffering are two major themes that appear throughout Dostoevsky's corpus, allowing him to explore these ideas in greater detail. Dostoevsky often uses conflict as a means of addressing core human issues such as morality, justice, guilt, and redemption. In Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov confronts himself with moral dilemmas with regard to murder, which forces him into self-reflection. This ultimately leads him to acknowledge his wrongs and confront his inner turmoil through suffering. Dostoevsky's characters are often tangled in a web of personal struggle. In Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov delves into an intense moral dilemma over whether to commit murder in order to free himself from poverty. The brothers Karamazov confront question of faith when Alyosha is forced to choose between God or humanity as the source of meaning in life. Through these examples, we can see how conflict within oneself leads to suffering both internally and externally for those around them. Also, his works are often considered to contain some of the most intricate and thought-provoking psychological morality tales. His stories explore a range of contradictory views on moral dilemmas, many times questioning the very nature of right and wrong. By examining his characters' struggle with their own inner demons, Dostoevsky paints a vivid picture of mankind's flaws and imperfections as it relates to morality. Through his novels such as Crime and Punishment, The Idiot, and The Brothers Karamazov, Dostoevsky offers us characters who often fall into temptation and find themselves struggling between accepting their corrupt desires or attempting to redeem themselves for an honest life. His works have explored a range of contradictory perspectives in regard to morality, exploring philosophical questions such as, can a person who has committed a crime still be considered moral? He also examines how absolute moral values can exist in an ever changing world. These topics have been explored in many of his works, such as Crime and Punishment and The Brothers Karamazov. His psychological insights into human behavior have allowed us to gain a better understanding of how people think and interact with each other. One aspect of Dostoevsky's influence that has often been overlooked in his social criticism. He was not only concerned with individual psychological issues, but also with larger societal structures that can lead to oppression, poverty, and inequality. Dostoevsky believed that by looking closely at society, we can begin to identify the root causes of problems such as injustice or poverty. He argued for a more egalitarian approach where those in power are held accountable for their actions and those without power are given more autonomy in their own lives. Through his works such as Crime and Punishment, The Brothers Karamazov, Dostoevsky delved into complexity of social injustice, addressing issues of morality, guilt, redemption, and suffering. His exploration of psychology and social criticism have been a source of inspiration ever since he first penned these works in the late 1800s. His characters often face difficult moral dilemmas as they struggle to find their place in society amidst the political upheaval. By exploring the effects that class structure has on individual lives in a changing world, Dostoevsky's themes remain relevant even today. Dostoevsky employed symbolism and subtext to further expound on his characters' psychological states. His use of symbol and metaphor were integral to exploring complex ideas while maintaining the mystery that drew readers in. Dostoevsky's use of symbolism transcended physical or tangible entities. He often used symbols such as dreams, folk tales, and religious symbols to construct powerful, metaphorical messages about life and death, love and hate, and spiritual struggles faced by humans. In The Brothers Karamazov, for instance, Dostoevsky uses the symbol of a cross throughout the novel as a way of exploring themes of guilt, faith, and morality throughout its character's journey. His use of symbolism and subtext allows him to create a complex version of reality within a single work or passage. For instance, in his novel Crime and Punishment, he uses motifs such as snow, frost, and ice to represent both individual feeling and larger societal forces at work. His writings explores the depths of human condition, particularly in regards to morality, justice, love, and death. He often delved into deeply emotional topics that most authors didn't dare to touch at the time. Dostoevsky's characters were complex and full of emotional turmoil. They grappled with guilt, shame, despair, and anger while trying to make sense of life itself. His novels are known for their intricate plot lines that always contain a moral lesson or two. He was particularly adept at exploring questions about good versus evil from multiple perspectives. The psychological themes in Dostoevsky's work have not been only stood the test of time since their initial publication in the 19th century, but also remain relevant today. Themes such as guilt, alienation, faithlessness are recurrent throughout his texts as he explores how one's social environment can shape one's mental state. His skillful characterization shows how relationships between people can be strained by external events, while also showing that internal struggles within an individual may cause great turmoil in their lives.